Welcome back to The Explainer. All right, today we're talking about something that sounds straight out of a sci-fi movie, but is, believe it or not, ancient. We're talking about hydroponics, a way to grow food without any soil at all. Yeah, you heard that right, and it could totally change how we get our food. All right, so let's get right into it. When you hear hydroponics, you're probably thinking of some high-tech lab, maybe even something on a spaceship, right? But what's crazy is that the idea of growing stuff without dirt, well, it goes back way, way back, thousands of years. And this timeline, it's just wild. The roots of this idea go deep. I mean, we're talking about theories that the legendary Hanging Gardens of Babylon might have used something like this. Fast forward a bit and you've got Sir Francis Bacon messing with it, but the real game changer, that came in the 1930s. This guy, William Garrick, grows these absolutely monstrous 25-foot tomato vines and finally gives the whole thing its name, hydroponics. And of course, you've got NASA, who are just pushing this tech to the absolute edge to figure out, how to grow food in space. Okay, so what is it really? At its heart, it's actually pretty simple. Think about what soil does, right? It holds the plant up and gives it water and nutrients. Well, hydroponics just says, let's skip the middleman. We're going to take away the soil and give the plant everything it needs, all the good stuff, directly to its roots through this special nutrient-rich water. That's it. No dirt, no mess.
Now, it's not like there's just one way to do this. It's not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. There are actually 6 main types of hydroponic systems, and each one has its own clever little way of getting that nutrient-packed water right where it needs to go, to the roots.
And this table is super handy. It's like a cheat sheet for all the different systems. You can see right away which ones are easy for beginners, what they might cost you, and what they're best at growing. So let's break them down one by one, starting with the easiest. Okay, first up, we have what I like to call the gateway systems. They're perfect if you're just starting out. The wick system is about as simple as it gets. It's totally passive. Think of it like a plant with a straw. A little nylon wick just sucks the nutrient water up to the roots. It's dead simple. No pumps, no electricity. Perfect for growing some herbs on your kitchen windowsill. Next is deep water culture, or DWC for short. This is just a small step up in complexity, but wow, the results are huge. With this one, the roots are literally just hanging out directly in the nutrient water. The only catch is you need an air pump, kind of like the one in a fish tank, to bubble oxygen in there so the roots don't drown. And the payoff? Your plants, especially things like lettuce, will grow like crazy, seriously fast. All right, moving on to systems that give you a bit more control. This one is called ebb and flow, but its nickname, flood and drain, tells you everything you need to know. It's on a timer, so for a few minutes, it floods the plant roots with all those yummy nutrients, and then, whoosh, it all drains away. This gives the roots a perfect cycle of eating and then getting a breath of fresh air. Then you've got the drip system. The best way to think about this one is like a personal IV for each plant. You've got a pump and these little tubes that deliver a slow, steady drip of nutrients right to the base of every single plant. It's super precise, which makes it absolutely fantastic for bigger, thirstier plants like tomatoes or cucumbers. Okay, now we're getting into the really high-performance stuff. This is the nutrient film technique, or NFT. Picture this. The plant roots are hanging down into a slightly sloped channel, and there's a constant, thin film of nutrient water just trickling over the very tips of the roots. It's incredibly water efficient, which is exactly why the big commercial farms love it for growing tons and tons of leafy greens. And last but not least, the king of high-tech, aeroponics. This is literally what NASA developed to use in space. The roots just hang there, in midair, and every few minutes they get blasted with this superfine mist of nutrients. That's it. This gives them the most oxygen possible, which leads to the fastest growth rates you can imagine. It really is like a 5-star spa day for your plants.
So, okay, we've seen all the different ways to do it. We've seen the how, but what about the why? Why go to all this trouble instead of just planting something in the ground? Well, the reasons are pretty huge, and a lot of it comes down to some really big advantages, especially when we talk about sustainability. First up, and this is a big one, water. Because these systems are closed loops that just recirculate the water, they can use up to, get this, 90% less water than traditional farming. 90%. In a world where water is getting scarcer, that's an absolute game changer.
And to put that into perspective, just look at tomatoes. To grow 1 kilogram of tomatoes in a field, you're looking at around 214 liters of water. That's a lot. But with hydroponics, you only need 70 liters. You're getting the exact same amount of tomatoes for way, way less than half the water. It's incredible.
And then there's space. Since you don't need giant fields of dirt, you can think differently. You can go vertical, you can stack these systems on top of each other. This means you can get up to 10 times the amount of food from the exact same footprint as a normal farm. That's huge.
And the benefits just keep stacking up. Your plants can grow up to 30% faster because they're getting a direct feed of nutrients 24/7. You can grow all year long. Snow, heat, doesn't matter. And here's a great one. No soil means no soil pests or diseases. All of this means you can farm pretty much anywhere. Think urban areas, rooftops, empty warehouses, even your own apartment. Okay, so with all these cool systems and amazing benefits, you might be thinking, this is great, but which one is for me? It can seem a little overwhelming, but the good news is it's actually not that complicated to figure out. It really just boils down to asking yourself a few simple questions. What are you trying to do? What do you want to grow? Answering these is going to point you right to the system that's the perfect fit for you. So, let's say you're a total beginner. You've got two fantastic choices. The Wix system, it's basically zero risk. It costs almost nothing and it's super low maintenance. But if you're the kind of person who wants to see results fast, especially with stuff like lettuce, then a DWC system is probably your best bet. For just a tiny investment in a cheap air pump, you get way faster growth. Really, if there's one simple rule to remember, it's this. Match the system to the plant. You want to grow small stuff like herbs and leafy greens? Go for a WIC, DWC, or NFT system. They're perfect for that. But if you're dreaming of big, juicy tomatoes or peppers, you're going to need a system that can handle their bigger roots and thirst. So you look at an ebb and flow or a drip system.
So when you put it all together, as our world gets more urban and our tech gets better, hydroponics is this incredibly powerful tool. It lets us bring farming closer to home, right into the heart of our cities. It's changing the whole game, not just how we garden, but where we farm. So here's the thought for you. The next time you're walking through a city and you look up at a skyscraper, just ask yourself, could your next salad be growing on the 30th floor?